All right. So yeah, this kid, he takes off down the side of the building and disappears. So you guys, just the three of you, are left up on the rooftop. Joel, you'll have these gloves, metallic. They're almost like carbon-looking gloves, holding onto this sphere of strange element of some sort.
When it was trying to access my mind, did it seem conscious, or was just like a natural thing? Like, was there a will behind it, or?
Yeah, sort of. It didn't seem like it had a life of its own, but it seemed like it was something that was trying to tap into your life or your willpower of some sort, like trying to give itself life of some sort.
Okay.
Something. You're not really even sure what to think of it as your character. It's just completely alien feeling.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
All right. So, down below you can hear the sirens and stuff, and everything's in complete chaos, and you hear the police yelling about something, and then you can hear them, saying that they're going to take the side of the building, and you can hear the scaffolding on the side where Afterthought came up, shaking a little bit. As you look over, you can see several cops coming up the side of the building.
Oh no.
Okay.
Gadfly, how many people can that suit of yours hold?
Bad news for you.
I want to see you all holding each other's legs as you fly off.
This is where we should probably see if the rules will actually fit something that ridiculous and unexpected.
Well, we can decide to stay around.
Oh yeah, I'm just curious.
I would say, what is a human? His average human is 4, and you're adding another human. I'd probably say a difficulty of 6 for that with your strength.
It's odd because just some characters can fly and can obviously carry many people, but others, like Superman, can easily carry truckloads of people, but someone like Hawkman might only carry 1 or 2.
But yeah, that Superman's a lot stronger though too, so he can carry a lot Hawkman can't. So I'd say it'd be based on strength for you to hold them. Your suit itself might be able to carry it, but you're gonna have to be able to hold on to them or do something like that.
Right.
So yeah, I'd say
without dropping them or.
Oh, sorry guys. Yeah. The average one would be 4 to carry or lift a human, and then you're adding another human, so I'd say +2. So yeah, it'd be a difficulty 6 if you tried to carry them both.
Right. Yeah. Cool. No, I was just curious. Yeah, had that. No, we're trying to become legitimate superheroes. We probably shouldn't be running from the police after after killing 2 people.
Well, they were armed with machine guns.
They were armed with machine guns.
It was self-defense.
Right. Yeah.
Semi-auto or whatever.
Right. They also potentially tried to assassinate someone in this important meeting, so we're not,
right.
We're not criminals here. We're maybe a little bit overzealous, but
I didn't mean to shoot it off the building.
So you're gonna wait for them then?
We could sabotage the scaffolding that those police officers.
Really?
Jeez.
Okay.
I'm going to be waiting for the police.
Yeah, I'll pull my cloak over tight so that's hard to see my face.
So, the cops will come up and around. You got a couple that burst through the doorway and a couple that hop over the side of the scaffolding, and, they got their guns out already immediately, and they're like, get down. They start yelling. They're telling you to get down on the ground and stay still. They notice, Gadfly in his uniform and the guy in the cloak over on the side, but they don't, they're confused on what's going on, so they're just doing their typical police procedure and telling you to get down and to hands up and lay on the ground. And
I'm cautiously getting on my knees and I'm saying, officer, we've just diffused the situation up here. I'm sure he'll respect me in life.
Your bug suit.
Justin didn't meet him on the way down? Or?
Pardon?
Did Justin meet them on the way down, or did he go out before they came up?
He went out before they came out, but that doesn't mean he got away.
Yeah.
He's not with them at the moment, though, no.
Okay. So, yeah, I take out my pistol, I put it on the ground, and I go, wow.
All right.
Yeah.
Gadfly, are you like new to the superhero thing, or are you kind of known around the town? Like, would they know who you are or recognize you?
They probably recognize me, but I haven't pulled any sort of feats of extraordinary. I haven't been given the keys to the city yet.
Okay. What about you, Afterthought? You probably had more run-ins on a rebellious aspect.
Yeah, he's more of just an afterthought.
All right. And Joel, you're kind of new to this city. I'd say that you probably have spoken with some of them and you know some of them, but none of the ones that are here are ones you have yet really associated with.
Yeah.
Like
probably with like the captains
Yeah.
and the higher level.
Yep. So yeah, the one who seems to like take control of the situation over, he kind of comes over and he's telling the other guys to put their guns down, and he being that he kind of recognizes Gadfly, he looks to him and he's like, "So what's going on here? What happened?"
We've secured a device that's not quite metahuman in origin.
He's like,
But
no. I don't know
don't-
these scientific words, Doc. Just speak in layman's terms.
No science. We think he tried to use this strange glowing thing to kill the man who was talking down there.
All right. He looks.
I sound very condescending as I say that.
He looks over at the orb. Did you set it down, Joel?
Yeah, I set it down.
All right.
At the same time, I set down my gun.
Like, be careful. We believe that the gloves are necessary to operate this device.
All right. Yeah. He kind of goes over and he like goes to kick it with his boot a little bit, and this thing just kind of like passes through his foot.
I'm waving my arms frantically, like, no.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, it didn't hurt you when you did it, but anyway.
He's like, all right, so what are you going to do with this thing?
Put it into the police storage locker. Evidence.
Like, yeah.
Well, I think we need to get some scientists to examine it.
Yeah. We'd be willing to surrender it, but I would be surprised if your station has the complex tools and security apparatus that would be needed to ensure that such a device is contained.
He just kind of looks away. He's like, hey, oh, okay, Doc. He like takes his.
He's a doctor.
Well,
how does the police?
That's just what he's calling him because he's talking all fancy. So.
Oh, right, yeah. My character's terrible at this too. Like, sir, we know that you're Dr. Robert Marcel.
He doesn't, talk to you in that sense. It's more like Doc is in just a slang term of you're a smarty pants kind of guy.
I think it's kind of funny.
He pulls his little radio thing off and he kind of radios and he tells somebody to get up there with something to do something with a something thing that he found. But he lets his men kind of go back down. He stays up there with a few others, and he lets you guys get up. What do you want to do? Talk to him or anything? I mean, he asks about the guys that went over the side of the building and what the issue was, but he understands that they were armed and firing, so he takes your story that's in self-defense. You had to do what you did.
I ask if I can speak to his captain.
All right.
On the radio.
Sure. What's his captain's name? How about I need to have a random name table or something. How about it'll be Deputy Chief Marrow, Marrow.
Okay,
Marrow. He's like, yeah, he takes his little CB type thing off and hands it over to you. And, he punches in a little number on his pad there, and he's like, and you hear the voice come back over, yeah?
Hey, Captain Deputy Morrow. This is this is Captain Young. We just encountered 3 men who were attempting to assassinate the mayor. They were hired by a relatively tall, really tall, an 8-foot tall man with a cloak, and they were wearing skeleton outfits. We think they were part of the skeleton mafia.
All right, you can hear him like silence on the other end. He's like, "All right, we've had word of this guy a few times. I didn't think it was anything serious, but if it's coming to this."
They also had in possession extraterrestrial contraband, a weapon that was used to put the mayor into a coma.
All right. He's like, "Yeah, I'm down below right now. The mayor's still stuck. Is there something you guys can do?"
Well, we need to examine this weapon before we can do anything. At least, yeah.
All right. He's like, "All right, I trust you. What is it, Captain Yang? Captain Yang."
Yeah.
He's like, "You do what you need to do, but we got to do something about the mayor."
Okay.
Can Gadfly hear him having this conversation?
Yeah.
Or is it private?
He's like in the corner speaking softly.
Interrupt and say, like, we suspect that this man is an astrally inclined metahuman. He should be like labeled as extremely dangerous, and apprehending him should be a very high priority.
Wait, why?
I'm just being signed. I'm trying to identify.
Okay.
So like the voice comes back over and it's like, "So he's an alien?"
Not quite, but possibly. I have to do more research.
He's like,
I just thought you would like to know.
He's like, okay. He seems kind of like whatever, talking about little gray aliens. So yeah, he gives you the okay to do what you need to do with this thing, or to take us some research, or whatever you want to do with it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So since he gave us the okay, we can leave.
Yeah, the other cop don't really pay much attention now. He's just kind of cleaning up stuff and getting his men orderly. Down below, most of the people have kind of been cleared out of the parade area, and stuff's kind of like all blocked off, and they got all your emergency personnel down there, all around the mayor. There's a few of the other doctors that were on stage with him there, and a few of the other more political people, but they're just kind of like huddled in groups, kind of talking. But
wait, is the mayor still on the stage, or did he go to the hospital?
Well, they're like loading him up onto a stretcher and stuff at the moment.
Okay. Since Afterthought could still telepathy connects with Gadfly while he was affected by the thing, I asked Afterthought to connect to the mayor and try to see what he's doing and reassure him.
All right.
Thinking the same thing.
Does it have a range on that? Do you have to be close or anything?
I don't know, but I could just walk down there, I guess.
Yeah.
If it does, you just walk down.
Doesn't seem to have a range.
Where someone attempts to reach you, might attempt to block. I'm assuming that it's as long as they're within sight. Then it doesn't say otherwise. So yeah.
Okay, I'll walk over the edge of the building where I can see the mayor and put my arms up in the cool display and use my mind powers.
Roll it up. He's average, so I'll say a difficulty of 3. Actually 2, because you'll know, when you try to tap in, he's not really trying to block you out. He's more panicked. So
okay.
Difficulty of 2. Oh, is it the first roll or the second roll? Second roll. Okay, 2. So yeah, you're able to tap into him. You can't get a real strong connection, and you're not really getting any visions. But all you can hear is his thoughts. Is just oh God, what's going on? And all you can think about is, his own panic, and he has that feeling like he's gonna die, and just the whole panic scenario. He's stuck in this position.
Yeah, say, hey, Mr. Mayor, we got a signal here, or what?
Like everything kind of goes silent, and he's like, "Hello." You know, it's like, am I going crazy?
No. This is the guy who helped save your life. We got the guy.
Are we still mind connected? So like the all three of us
Yeah.
are not connected to me.
Are you going to broadcast it for? I'll say for your linkage, you can have a number of people up to your power level. What's your power level for that?
6.
6. So you could have like a group of 6 people.
Okay.
So yeah, if you want to add them in, then yeah, that's fine.
Sure.
I say, Mayor, this is Captain Young.
Right.
We have apprehended, we have dealt with the men responsible for your condition, but we are getting the weapon in question to our scientists to examine. Please stay calm, and we will help you as soon as possible. You are not going to die.
All right. He's like, okay. You have met the mayor before. I forget it's one of the people that you would know being in your position. It's like he seems okay. He's trusting you, and all he can think about is his own panic. But he seems a little more reassured on the situation. And like his thoughts come back. He's like, so what are you gonna do? Am I stuck like this forever?
We are working on examining the device that put you in this situation, and we will reverse it as soon as we can.
All right. He's like, all right, let me know.
Okay.
All right. So what do you guys want to do then? Dr. Robert, you could. How do you want to inspect this thing, or what do you want to do to get it checked out? Any of you have any connections, or want to make one?
I have a gang leader connection. That's all I got so far.
He knows he'll be able to help us out.
He might buy it off of you.
He might be able to give us some information on the tall cloaked guy.
Oh, that may be true. But
probably not our first avenue of exploration.
Yeah.
He'd buy it off of you, or she, isn't it Roxy?
Yeah.
Roxy. Yeah.
She'll pay a handsome sum for that baby.
Does Robert Gadfly have a lab, or?
I would like one, but I don't think there's really a rule for it.
You could have. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. You're the.
I was gonna say you guys do have a base of operations. You could probably have a lab. You're just a basic rudimentary one that has your basic stuff. I'd say if you wanted to spend a point of determination, you could kind of have it be more advanced.
Yeah, I would like to. I'd probably invest rather heavily in that laboratory, so I would like to.
I forget what that's called offhand. There's a name for it. Determination. So you're basically going to be retconning. So you have a lab and stuff, but you're going to kind of change the story. Spend a point of determination. But you got to tag one of your qualities, though. So, which one of your qualities kind of makes it so that you have more of a specialized lab? Or you can make one if you don't have one.
Like that?
One quality that I've listed so far called doing it for the science. This profession brings him closer to superheroes than anything else will. Basically, by fighting super crime, he's investigating and experimenting with meta science.
Yeah, definitely that'll work. So mark off a determination, and you got yourself a kick-ass lab.
Yeah, there's a battery of things I would like to run this odd device through.
And the gloves.
And the gloves, that's right. First, probably I'd like to run it through something that's used to measure psychic capacity.
Okay.
Because it seems to be activated through a mental connection. A lot of its traits seem to have certain odd astral qualities, especially when taking or thinking about the individual who somehow managed to create it.
Mm-hmm.
So I might actually want to find a colleague in the long run, possibly someone from NASA or some much smaller
Right.
celestial nerds.
All right. For your challenges, you have vanity.
Yes.
How's that? Or what are you envisioning for that?
Where did I put that? You probably noticed that my character is a little bit not holier than thou, but smarter than thou. He likes to wield his strange and esoteric knowledge of people.
Right.
He's also rather careless. It hasn't come up yet. He almost immediately dove upon the strange device during that fight,
right.
And that was the first thing that he was going to do. He wasn't going to disarm the armed gunman or anything. He was going to acquire that device and try to play with it, like this is some sort of game. I think that sort of divides into multiple challenges.
Okay.
Vanity is sort of a good.
All right. Afterthought. I see you got sticky fingers, so I'll tell you what. Yeah. I'll give you a point of determination if you happen to, swipe that orb into your pack.
Boy, Russell, can he touch it?
He could try, or just kind of like scoop it up into his pack.
Use my telepathy.
Yeah,
he just has to get the gloves. Once he has the gloves, he has the ball too.
Well, I'm wearing the gloves.
Yeah, but you could move the ball with your telepathy, or lift it out of Gadfly's pack and put it in yours for some reason.
Sure, why not?
Like I say, you're gonna have to spend a point of determination not to do it, or you can get a point and do it.
I'll put it into my pack.
All right, give yourself a point of determination, and do they notice? I'm assuming not.
I do have +1 for stealth.
All right, so yeah, I don't think they'll notice it offhand. So why did you take it?
It looked cool. Maybe
it matched your cloak.
On my mantle. Yeah.
How about you want to have Roxy appraise it?
Yeah, that.
To see if
see how much it's worth.
Yeah. Before this.
Just borrowing it to see how much it's worth.
He breaks it or something,
Yeah.
All right, so you guys are headed back to your base there.
I'm assuming Gadfly's fine.
Oh.
Okay.
Not necessarily. I could just slip back into my normal clothes and meet you guys at the
car.
At the hideout.
All right. Are you going with them afterthought, or are you gonna take a little side trip somewhere?
Yeah, I'll go see what Roxy says about this thing.
All right. So, Joel and Dr. Robert, you guys are kind of going down, and all of a sudden afterthoughts kind of disappeared. And is that a normal thing? Do you kind of say to yourself just sometimes, or would they think it's weird that you're all of a sudden gone?
Oh, you're asking me?
Yeah.
Oh, I come and go. I usually they usually know the general area where I'm going, but not the specific locations.
Right. All right. So yeah, as you guys get back to your lab, you go to dig out your pouch and start working on the thing, and you notice that it's gone.
Where's the orb?
Really? Let's go find him.
Just damn it!
I'll go find him. You work on the gloves.
I'm kind of offended that you just assume it was me.
I've just begun setting up my lab to test this strange device. I've laid out a very strange foil over a table. I've dug out this odd box, which is attached to the ceiling, and has nodes that hang down from various points, several feet from the ceiling.
Okay.
It tests numerous field types, but is specifically for psychic energy.
Okay.
Okay.
So afterthought, you kind of like skip down a few alleys and go, kind of into the more shady areas, like under the Golden Gate Bridge or something. And you got this big building. You know, it's where Roxy generally hangs out and her gang. What's her gang called? Does it have a name or?
Sure. Let's see. What's a good gang name? What's any gang name?
I don't know. I'm not a gang.
I don't know.
Random.
The Bad Apples.
The Bad Apples.
Okay, sure.
Nice.
That's decent.
Bad Apples. All right. And so, like, as you're looking at this building that's got, like, used to be an old warehouse of some sort or something, but it's got those huge barn doors that are, like, metal that you have to pull open on the side. And it's got, like, little slots in it where you can have, like, eyes that peer out at you to check, what you do. And you got to give your secret knock on the door. And there's a great big apple painted on the side of it. It's, like, half eaten with a worm sticking out of it. So, as you go up, what do you do?
I knock on the door to give the secret password and read the mind of the guy to get the secret password.
So I'm going to say a difficulty of 2. He's a pretty dumb guy. So for, it's just a basic, like, 3 knocks, then 2 knocks, then 1 knock, and then a little pause in between each. So, as you do that, the little window thing flips open, and you see, one eyeball staring at it, and the other one, like, has a patch over it. And it's like, who's there?
It's Afterthought.
He's like,
Really?
What? Yeah, I'm going with my cloak, and so nobody can see me.
Does Afterthought have connections to Roxy?
Oh, well, I know where she is.
All right.
I know where.
The guy, flips the thing closed, and you hear a couple of lock switches, and it pulls it open. Excuse me. And inside, there's, like, tons of skate ramps and, like, tipped over tables and people kind of standing around drinking and doing all the gang-related type stuff. You can't pry too much because you get dirty looks if you, pay too much attention to them. But over in the corner, you'll see Roxy. She's real tall. She's probably like 6'3", 6'4". She has, like, a white skirt on and, like, a tank top, and she has a big pink mohawk. Has a couple dangly earrings, and she has the big lip ring that kind of sticks out. And she turns towards you, and does she know Afterthought?
No.
No?
Oh, okay.
She knows Johnny Swift, though.
All right. So, yeah, she kind of stands up, and when she does, you can see, like, she has several knives hanging off of her belt, and her one hand, she has, like, a glove, and it has, like, cat-type claws on it that are kind of metal. And she kind of stares at you for a few minutes, and her bodyguard people, 2 large guys on each side of her, stand up, and they all walk towards you. And she kind of eyeballs you up and down. She doesn't say anything, though, and just stops in front of you. She has a very intimidating appearance, along with her bodyguards. She kind of puts her hands on her hips and just waits for you to say something.
Oh, boy. I'll just stand tall, not intimidated at all. I got a lot of will of my own. Then say, hey, Roxy, got a tip off that you might know what to do about this. And I hold up my arms. I can't show it on my screen. Hold up my arms. And up from behind me floats the orb. It goes in between us.
All right. She stares at it for a few minutes. She seems to, like, think about it, and then she looks at you and she's like, where did you get this?
Origins are not important.
She smiles. She's like, I like you. And she's like, so, you looking to sell it?
Looking for who would be interested in buying.
She's like, I'd be interested. She can, she sees you kind of thinking about it. She's like, I can pay a good sum for this. If you can do more jobs like this, I could even hire you.
I'll keep that in mind. What's your idea of a good sum?
She eyes you up and down. I need you to make a willpower check.
Right.
You can feel like something's kind of trying to read your mind. Actually, your willpower allows you to notice that. So yeah, you can feel somebody around is trying to read your mind. Does that actually give you a bonus, your ability, or can you just tell?
I think it just lets me know that it's happening. And then I use my telepathy against theirs.
So their telepathy against yours. I'm going to say a difficulty of 5 then. Let's see.
Right.
So what do you got? A 1. That's a success. So you can feel like whoever's trying to do this, as you glance around, nobody seems to be openly recognized as trying to get into your brain. But you can just kind of see flashes now and then of a smaller kid that looks like a young girl, maybe 7 or 8. She's kind of dressed in rags. Like the image kind of pops in your head. And, you're able to kind of push her out, but it's like a constant nagging that's right there, as if, she's constantly trying to read your mind and you're constantly fighting her off.
Like, Roxy, Roxy, Roxy. You should know better than that. You can't get in here.
You see her kind of wave her hand off to the side, as if motioning for something, and the connection just drops. She's like, I gotta do what I gotta do. It's like, so come on, what are we gonna do here? Let's say $1,000.
$1,000. I think that wasn't even worth the trip.
It's like, hey, you came here. What would you want then?
I don't know.
I don't even know what you think. Okay.
Any suggestions?
Hmm.
So I wasn't actually planning on selling it.
You can trade it for information, status, I don't know.
Anything you can think of. She's like, you don't want money? I can give you something else. You want power? Knowledge? I got connections.
You could potentially just be trying to find out if there are other devices that look or operate like that on the street. Like maybe if it's familiar to her, if she knows where it's anything about it at all.
She does seem to not necessarily recognize the object itself, but she seems to know what it is or know something about it.
Oh yeah. Okay, then can I try to read her mind to see what she knows about it?
Yeah.
'Cause then I get the information I need without actually selling it.
Right. Yeah, it's going to be a difficulty of 6 on her.
Oh boy.
Oh.
2. So yeah, she doesn't exactly know what the object is, but she has heard of, like you get this flash of her envisioning this man that's in this cloak, this tall fellow in this cloak, and she knows like who he is or has connection somehow to him, and she has heard of this thing, even though this is the first time she saw it. So she's like amazed by it, and she wants it. So she's pretty much willing to do whatever it takes to get this object.
Also, I don't want to tell her that she can't have it.
Yeah, you're basically in her den right now, so.
Right.
Joel, you headed to track him down, or?
Yeah, I was gonna use my investigation for that.
Okay.
So.
I'd say awareness, since you're trying to follow his tracks and be aware of where he went.
Okay.
Yeah. Did you try to be real stealthy when you left, or did you just kind of head on off? Afterthought.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't want them to follow me.
All right. What's your stealth?
So I was doing, well,
It's
is
just
that
stealth.
coordination?
Oh yeah. Sorry, coordination.
Okay, so my coordination is 4, but I get +1 for
Stealth.
when I do something
So
stealthy.
how about a difficulty of 5 for that then, Joel?
Okay. Okay.
All right. So yeah, you're able to follow his trail a little ways, and you have an idea of where he went. But you're in this crappy part of the town, and everything's run down, and there's warehouses around. And you do see the building with the apple on it, and there's other buildings around. There's a few little people standing around. You don't know he went in that building, but you're in the vicinity of where he is. He's around somewhere.
I pick a random person and ask him, have you seen a guy with a cloak and a hood? A super?
The guy kind of turns to her. He's like, yo, I ain't got no business with you. It's like, shoo on before I have to take out some guns.
Oh, really? Like this? And then I pull out my pistol.
He kind of eyes you up and down. He's like, I don't want no trouble. I didn't see no guy with a cloak. I didn't see nothing.
Really? I know he went down here somewhere. If you aren't going to tell me, then I'll make you wish you did.
Is that an intimidation?
Yeah.
Is that intimidation?
How about do you have a skill for intimidation of any sort? If not, I'll just say.
It's willpower.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
But I do have investigation. It doesn't. Digging up information, I guess. Investigation. And I am a police officer, so I don't know.
Yeah, I'd
But
say it kind of falls
actual
into the
skill.
same thing. So how about a willpower, and you can add in your investigation with that to try and intimidate him. His difficulty is 3.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
All right, so he's like, I don't want no trouble. Yo, man, he went over that way. He kind of points to the building with the apple on it. He's like, just go do what you got to do before I have to get my gang on you.
Okay.
And he kind of backs off. You can tell he's kind of bluffing more than anything. He just backs up a few feet and then turns and runs down an alley side.
Okay, and then I put away my gun and I knock on the door, just regular knocking.
Oh, I'm with him, right?
I don't know, are you?
I don't know, are you?
Yeah, my plan was, I'm looking for more food. I am pissed that it's gone, so. Yeah.
Okay, so are you in costume or?
No, I have my bag in case I need to get it.
Okay.
So, is this bag really big so your wings don't stick out, or do you carry it around and your wings are sticking out of it too?
I figure the wings collapse really
Retractable.
nicely, and that they very strongly resemble fly wings. So
So they're very thin.
Yeah, they're thin and they're malleable too.
So think Iron Man's suitcase,
Yeah, I bet. I even would think his wings might fit under a jacket, and if he were ever feeling dramatic, he could just sort of have them burst from his back. But
I thought you were going to say he's going to rip off his shirt Hawk style or something.
when he does that, so he's just naked and flying. Yeah, he always has the bag for it.
Okay.
The mask in it, which is most important.
All right. So yeah, you go up and you kind of knock on this building, and you have the little flip thing that comes up, and you have the eyeball staring at you. He's like, what do you want?
We're here for afterthought.
He's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And he flips the thing closed. Afterthought, you can hear the knocking on the door from there, and as you glance over, you can see that somebody's out there talking. You catch a glimpse of your name being spoken. Roxy stares at you for a few minutes, and she looks over at the door. She's like, you have visitors.
Visitors? Maybe I should take this.
She's like, you can't be leaving with that. I'll give you whatever you want. We can hold them off. Want my people to take care of them?
Give me a sec. And I'll use my mental powers to scan out there.
Right.
Can you do that?
Well, not like scan, but see if their minds are close by. Can I do that?
Your partners?
Yeah.
Yeah. As long as they're allowing their mind to be open to you, yeah. So yeah, you guys can like feel that he's like trying to reach out to you.
And then I accept it and like mentally yell, "Where are you?"
I'm in a business meeting.
Don't interrupt.
Business meeting with an orb, perhaps?
Maybe.
Just keep chiming in. You have the orb. You have the orb. You control the orb. You need to give it back immediately. Important research is being interrupted. Right.
The orb is safe. The situation is a little sticky, but yeah, you might want to get in here.
The orb is not safe. You brought it to the hideout for these criminals.
Let us in then. Have them let us in then if you want us in there. I mean.
All right, can I send them the code to get in?
Well, they already kind of messed up the code when they knocked initially, so they know that they're not a part to be part in there. So if they knocked now with the code, it'd be kind of like obvious that something's going on. Be like, oh, wait a minute, guys, I messed that up. Roxy kind of stares at you. You can tell she's getting a little impatient. Her clawed hands kind of like tapping on her thigh.
Okay.
All right. I'll say, I have a better offer. I think I'm going to take it and start heading towards the door.
Right. Almost immediately, like her two bodyguards step in front of you and they put their hands out. What do you do?
You might want to ask us to come in. Break down the door, maybe?
Can I pull open the door with my telekinesis?
Yeah, it's locked, so I was
like, does that have a latch or something?
Yeah, it is locked, so it'll be a little bit more difficult. Let's say a difficulty. It's probably like man size, well, like weight, so 4. How about a difficulty of 5? It's like a reinforced steel door, and it has locks on it and chains.
Can I use a couple points of determination?
Well, I mean, you have to tag a what should we call it?
Yeah, definitely.
My catchphrase, give me that.
You need the door? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, just pull the...
Are you looking to like rip the door right off?
Yeah, rip the door and pull it towards the guards in front of me.